Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken. In their income source, hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose to masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Hi guys, welcome to the show. I am here because I'm trying to do everyday one. So today I'm going to be talking about Andrew Tate. And first, let's get into some things that are not so great about him. And then let's talk about some things that are really positive that he's done and some things that I think he should be doing going forward or doing more of going forward. Because he is such a cultural phenomenon now. So we have to acknowledge that this is at least someone who's not mainstream media, who's not under control. I mean, he might be under some control, but he's not under full control of Hollywood and the news and all that stuff. So he came to fame with, his humor. His humor was his main claim to fame. So some of the things that are not so good about him, but were very funny, which is why we were all watching him, or when he made jokes about women not being able to drive. I mean, it's very funny. We all know women like this who can't drive. That being said, we of course know women who can drive, like me, drive perfectly. But of course, I did grow up in Miami, and it is a life or death sport to drive in this city. So anyways, the other things, he had jokes about violence against women. Now, again, if you do not take things literally, this is how people would talk to their friends in their friend groups. We would say silly, ridiculous things like this. We didn't mean them literally. There was no literal meaning of it. But because people are a little bit more autistic, they're a little more chronically online, everybody took everything so literally. And that's kind of where it goes wrong. That's where the translation gets messed up on the internet. You kind of have to be very literal on the internet. And it's just, it's not very easy to translate how you speak to your friends when you're joking around, having a good time, to how you would speak online. Because you're speaking to people who they don't know you, they don't know your personality, they don't know your background, they don't know what you find funny, you don't know what they find funny, you don't know if they've left the house, if they have any friend group outside of what they do online. There's a lot of people now that 90% of their social life is just on the internet. So you can't just say jokes that require so much nuance, that requires so much interpersonal skills like that without people taking it literally. Also, when you post stuff online, that's it's such a good clip. It's such a good clickbait type of thing to just snatch that and then use that against the person later if they say something else you don't like. So I totally get how easy it is to do that stuff. Yeah, I don't think he believes that. I think he's trying to go viral, and in order to go viral, we all know you have to say the craziest thing. You have to be an extreme person. You have to say something that's going to make people stop scrolling for a second and then pay attention to you. Yes, they do. But okay, look, we have to admit that it's not so easy when you first get online to get a lot of views. So you have to say a little bit of crazy stuff. So we have to give him that because he was just trying to go viral. I mean, that's the game. That is the game. And yes, thank you. I have redone my office. More cutesy. Anyways, so here are some other things that he did not do that was not the best. So his business, how he got all his money was kind of in degenerate stuff. So it's not the best example for young men to be like, I started a cam girl business and I did gambling. These are things that are very sketchy, shady businesses. The average person cannot do this stuff. You need to be manipulative to do this type of business, to interact in these type of circles. So the average guy should not be anywhere near these type of industries. And it's not really good. Like if you're religious, if you have morals, these are not good areas to focus on. So I can understand why people kind of like attacked him for like, that's how you made your money? Come on, bro. But anyways, so the other thing that people attack him on are having multiple partners while the woman he's with has to be completely faithful to him and just suck it up and take it because hey, he's high value. I can't I can't see how that actually correlates to someone who has high morals. Someone with really high morals will not do immoral things and expect the person that they're with to just accept it. That is not something that you can justify because, we have the 10 commandments. We have all of, we have certain morals and this has been around forever. We know we're not supposed to be lustful. We know we're not supposed to associate with promiscuous people, men or women. We know these things. So just saying, oh, because I have a lot of money, I'm justified to do degenerate things, that's not going to fly. So that's a very clear way that he created a rift with people, even people on the right, because look, if you are religious, if you are a moral person, if you have values that you stand on, that's going to be really a no-go because you can't justify you doing something immoral just because you have money or power over someone. That's no different than the elite saying, look, we're going to cull the herd, we're going to make them eat the bugs. That's just as immoral. Okay, just because you have power over someone or something doesn't mean you exert that type of force. It makes you a bad person. So that's not the best thing. Again, he could be joking. He probably was joking. He probably is like super like all over his girlfriend or wife behind the scenes, the mother of his kids. We don't know what's really going on. All we know is what he tells us. And what he tells us is generally for views and clicks and likes and notoriety. So some positive things he did was charity work. That's a great thing. He's always bragging about how much charity he does, how like he risks his life to go, help people like in Ukraine and Palestine, whatever, all these places. So that's a really good thing because we don't have a lot of people bragging about things that you should brag about. And you're not supposed to do good things, good deeds, and then brag about it. But I think, unfortunately, in this society where everybody is so narcissistic, you have to brag about that because at least it will help people get out there and do something for someone else. Because there's an entirely different way that you can get dopamine that involves helping other people instead of helping yourself and being super narcissistic. So yeah, charity work is a great thing. Promoting hard work and discipline. This is another amazing thing that he's done for young men. I really like that he's doing that because we had a lot of lazy dudes playing video games for a long time, for many years. And the girls were getting upset and the girls were getting a little crazy and the girls started going online and we all know what they ended up doing. So we need guys that are going to go out there and work hard and have discipline. And discipline means I'm not going to do something that doesn't benefit my family and society, like play video games all of my functioning, all my good waking hours. No, I'm going to do something like I'm going to go work hard. I'm going to like work on my body, work on my mind, read. Read like Tristan also. Tristan is really good at that. He will go and have a whole history lesson online on his little shows, which is really good because there's so many guys who they don't know anything that happened. They've never read a history book outside of what they were assigned to in college or high school or whatever. Like they don't know anything else. They've never taken the time to go, what happened in history? Let me read about it. Let me get some sort of a background because what they tell you on TV and the news, even in school, it's always going to be biased. So you need to go get the books from this side and from that side and then compare them yourself and use your own discernment, which is really great that Tristan does that. Yeah, and we'll talk about that too. The fish are in the living room in a huge tank, not the tiny 2 tanks. I have like a huge, ginormous tank. So they're good. Yeah, I do think ultimately he's going to be a net positive Okay, so some other things that he did was he really brought a light to men's struggles and mental health issues. That was a big one. Guys were like just being told you're not allowed to complain, which is insane because I don't know. It's just like a really messed up situation when guys say, I'm struggling, and women and society say, we don't care. So he really said, no, 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 it's important. We need to talk about it. And he brought the conversation to the table, which is important. But then he also said mental health issues don't matter, which is kind of like, or don't exist, which is kind of like the opposite. But I get what he means by that. But again, nuance. And we live in a very autistic leaning world where everybody's super literal. So when you say mental health issues don't exist, that's not what he meant. What he really meant was you need to ignore them. You need to go out there and realize that life is going to be hard, that you are going to get stressed, you're going to get depressed, that life is not easy for anyone. Even if you have all the money in the world, you'll be stressed out that you didn't earn it and that you were handed it. It could still stress you out. I know people who are handed everything in their lives and their whole personality is just feeling bad for themselves because they want to do it on their own and they don't want help from mommy and daddy and they want to get it on their own, which is like, it just goes to show you it doesn't matter what you have or what you achieve in your life. Everybody's going to struggle in some way. So we just have to just go, you know what? This is life. And also don't listen to the voices in your head so much. So I get while he's like, it doesn't matter. Like you don't know what's in your head speaking to you. So you don't have to listen to it. Okay. The other thing, he teaches the importance of financial independence. And he did something, you could find it on, I think I shared it like a long, long time ago on my Twitter, but he did this whole thing on how the financial system works. It was hilarious. He had his little, I think it was like a whiteboard or maybe it was like a chalkboard or something. And he went through everything. That was the absolute best lesson for people because it was just very easy to understand. We need teachers like that in this world. So he taught financial independence like bare bones. I really love that. That's a great thing he's done. And I really think he should focus a little bit more on that. Maybe just have his little wipe because he made it funny with Tristan, of course. And yes, somebody said Tristan is a better role model, but he's not as funny. He is funny, but he's not as funny as Tate. So I think the two of them together really are a nice pair. So anyways, let's see. Then we have the encouraging of religion. Now I know we would not generally like him to push Islam, but I think that's more of like they said they'd help him with his issues. They helped him promote the religion. I kind of feel that, but I don't know. This is just my theory. But either way, at least it's some religion. I do not like what he said negative about Christianity being like just a bunch of like, people who just go along to get along. I think instead of saying that, he should have said, we need to change. Christianity is not like this. We need to stop acting like this. That's where he should have taken it, right? But we do need a return to religion. And, he started the conversation. We have to give him that. The other thing is motivational speaking. He's really good at motivational speaking. And guys in particular do not understand the importance of being able to speak in front of an audience. That is a huge win. If like your girl can know, like you can speak in front of an audience, if you can like convey a lot of attention and speak eloquently and make your point and have a lot of people listen to you, that puts you in authority. That puts you in a really good position in life. Learning how to speak, how to get rid of verbal tics like the ums and the uhs and all that stuff and the likes. This is a huge life skill. And him doing all his little speaking things really made guys in particular realize that you need to learn how to speak, because if you can speak and inspire people to do whatever it is you believe, like whatever it is that you're interested in, whatever it is that you do, if you can speak well, you can inspire people and you can be a person of authority and women will like you. You'll get better quality women. You'll get better quality friends. You'll get better quality everything. Your life will be better if you can just speak better. Let's see. Okay, anti-drug use. He does, I think they do drink and smoke cigars or something, but for the most part, this is probably like the most amazing, very masculine, extreme type of personality type that just does not promote drug use and alcohol use. This is crazy. Like, this is amazing. We've seen a huge decline since millennials in alcohol consumption and drug use in general. I think we have to give him a little bit of credit for this because he said, why are you going to do that? Why would you take something that makes you not perform as well? Why would you do something that's neurodegenerative? Why would you do something that causes inflammation in the body? Why would you do something that makes you make poor decisions? And another thing that came up with his talk about this is a lot of women came up and were saying, like, good women, not like skanky women, but like good women were coming out and saying, when a guy is drunk, intoxicated, whatever, I don't feel safe. I don't feel like I can trust him. It's an immediate turnoff to a good woman. A woman who comes from a very bad situation and who's like really messed up and, who has very low moral compass, she's not going to notice the alcoholism as much or the drinking as much in public. She's not going to get embarrassed as much. She might be partaking with them. So what does she know? But a woman who comes from a good family is going to see you intoxicated and immediately lose interest in you. It is not a good look for guys or for girls or for anyone. It's not good. It's so, like, if you saw the Humorman podcast on alcohol, there's zero good amount. There's zero benefits. There's zero good amount. It immediately causes damage. So we got to give him credit for that. He's the first one who's popular. I mean, name one other person who was this popular as Tate that told guys, it's not a good look to be drunk. It's not a good look to do alcohol. I can't think of anybody. If you can, put it in the chat, but I haven't found anyone. I mean, I've been looking. I've seen the opposite. It was people who actually, like, I heard Dean Martin did not drink. He would drink apple juice and pretend he was drinking to promote alcoholism or because he thought it was more manly. So we have to give Tate something. He stopped that. I mean, we don't like the cigars, but it's better than the alcohol. He does drink, but he doesn't do it as much, and he talks about not doing it as much. So yeah, like occasionally he's going to do it, but not as much. Also the drug use. He's very much against the drug use. He does talk about that a lot. He doesn't smoke the ganja. He doesn't do that stuff. He talks about how that's like really not that great. 79% of women are not attracted to men because they drink. 79% of women, if they are, they're probably damaged and you should just go look for the other. Okay, so anyway, so maybe it's like more drug use. He does occasionally drink, but the drug use. And he doesn't drink that much. It's just occasionally. The other one, okay, he's a free speech absolutist. We love that. We like free speech. We like saying, politically incorrect things because they're funny to us. We like the freedom of doing that. We like joking around with our friends online. So that's pretty good. Also, he supports entrepreneurship and he's always telling guys, stop getting a job. Stop trying to get your degrees and get your job so you can get hired by someone who can just fire you for like whatever policies they enact in the future. We don't know what the future holds. Trump isn't only going to be here for 4 years. And then God knows what they're going to do the next time. It could be like they only hire you if you're overweight. We don't know what's coming. So if you are an entrepreneur, you are safe. If you're not an entrepreneur, you're not safe. So that's a good thing. And then the last one is the importance of community building. He talks about like having guy friends. I support everything. I want to hear it. Whatever, free speech, just speaking, as long as it's not illegal, like inciting violence, I support that. As long as it's not inciting violence or not illegal, we support that. So yeah, the community building is a big one. Guys need to have guy friends. They need to have a community of guys who are building community, values and stuff like that together. That's very important. Now, where he can do better, the big thing that he could do better on is he needs to encourage family values, because we need someone to encourage family values. No, we are not bad. We need someone to encourage family values. He's popular enough with, what the younger people, Gen Z, whatever types, that he can talk to them. He can reach them. And he needs to start saying family values. When you talk about like degenerate things like having 5 wives, blah, 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 just send them money. This is not fatherhood. This is not going to help society. We have a fatherhood problem. We do not have a men providing problem. That's what's going to move the needle for girls is when the father is in the home. If he's not sleeping there every night protecting the family, he is a failure as a father. You have to protect your family. When girls are growing up and there's no father in the home at night, after a while, they will go through menses early. That means they will have hormone problems for their entire lives. That means they will be hypersexual. Hormones will actually make them hypersexual because there's no father figure. So your biology thinks you're unsafe. There's no man protecting you. Therefore, you must develop quickly so that maybe you can attract some man out there to get you pregnant and then keep you and protect you. So this will make very young girls start acting promiscuous earlier. And I think we've seen that in society. As soon as the dudes leave the house, whether the woman kicks them out or the man just leaves for somebody else, or the man is just like, has multiple women and doesn't care about his kids or just sends them money, this is not going to help society. We need dudes to stay home with their kids and spend time teaching morals and values. You cannot teach something you don't have. So it starts with the guys. The guys have to first have morals and values. If you don't have it, you can't teach it. So if we can just use Tate or convince Tate that this is the direction he needs to be, we'll be better off. And if not him, I'm open to having somebody else. If you're a charismatic guy, maybe we need you to start getting online and start talking and start telling people, hey, look, this degenerate stuff isn't going to fly anymore. It's going to destroy communities. It's destroying societies. It's already destroyed society. So the only way to fix it is to rebuild it. The only way to rebuild it is with morals and values and strong fathers that are present in the home, not banging different skanks who probably didn't have good fathers and probably make terrible mothers, and who probably will teach their kids to just go for the bag instead of a family and a good guy. This is not what we need. We need strong father figures in the world, not just strong lone wolves that are just like impregnating people and running. Yeah, my dad was actually a stay-at-home dad. Not the best for the relationship, though, I will say that. But the best for me as a kid, because every single day I had history lesson, which I don't remember everything, but he tried. We can't all be into everything. Every single night I had the history lesson. Every single day he would we'd go people watching, go like on the boardwalk, beach, whatever. There's like restaurants, and he would just point out people and be like, what do you think about them? And, he's with her because she's an object. You can tell because he lets her wear this. You don't want to be that. Look at this guy. Look how much he loves his children and his wife and blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't let her dress like a skank. He's not trying to show off her body to everyone. There's different paths. And he would kind of show me that. And he would give me lessons like, don't be for sale. Don't let anybody buy you expensive gifts unless they're like your husband, because it makes it seem like you're exchanging money for something else, and you don't ever want to be seen as that. So there's just a lot of things that you can't get that from a woman. Women are just the resource focused. They're just they're afraid, obviously. Women have very high anxiety, very high cortisol, very high neuroticism. So they're always like, how can I be safe? And unfortunately, it's money, and women will give up anything for money. And the reason why a lot of girls are good girls and don't do anything is because they don't want to disappoint their fathers. We'd like to think it's because they're good inside, but the reality is women, especially young women, will do anything for money because it makes them feel safe. The money makes them feel safe because they don't have the father figure to make them feel safe. So either you have a father figure who makes you feel safe, or you're going to do whatever it takes to get the money to make you feel safe. And that's the truth of it. And I've known girls that had really good father figures, that they see other girls making money because they didn't have father figures. And they would say things like, well, maybe if my father passed away, I would be able to do something like that and get money, but I can't do it now. And then you'll see once their prefrontal cortex, develops after 25 or sometimes 30, then they'll be like, ooh, I can't believe I thought that. Thank goodness I had a good father when I was stupid enough to do something like that and make poor choices. That's the truth of it. We do not develop for long-term thinking until like after 25 or maybe 30. And that's why you'll see these epiphany, whatever stage women, it's because finally it comes to the forefront and they're like, oh, consequences to my actions. Oh, don't listen to what society tells you. Listen to reality. What are you saying? Oh, and that's when women kind of wake up a little bit too late, which is why it's so important to have the father figure. So let me see. What are you guys saying? Yeah, I mean, that's really important. So I'm not going to say it's not going to work out for him. As long as it's working out, that's great. I mean, not everybody is capable of being their own leader. So we have to understand that there's a lot of young guys out there that don't have fathers, that are not strong, that they've been raised by women to do whatever women say. Because when you're a little boy and you grow up, let's say in a single mother household, your survival is dependent on a woman. So you learn to placate that woman by any means necessary in order not to die, because you don't want to be left outside in the cold. You want her to take care of you. You want her to love you, to want to make sure you've eaten, make sure you're clothed, make sure you're sheltered. And that's why a lot of these young guys are growing up and they don't have any sort of masculine influence in their lives. So they're looking around anywhere, who's it going to be? And if they run into Tate, they might pick up some good things, but they also might pick up the bad things because they just don't have anything else to compare it to. I mean, yeah, you don't know what intentions people have, but judge them by their fruits. Okay, stop talking about Israel. This is not about Israel. Oh my gosh. Anyways, so that is all I wanted to talk about today. And thank you all for hanging out. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And I will see y'all next time. I'm trying to do one a day. Stop. I'm trying to do one a day. Anyways, have a great rest of your day, guys. See you next time.
Start the revolution, let the truth begin. Wake up, they're feeding lies. Control the media's got you hypnotized. Trust authority, they'll take your soul. Break the chains, find your own control. Wake up.